Department of Education. Those are the issues that make every bit of difference. But these personal things are important, I don't know how you'll ever solve the problem of making sure everybody knows everything about everybody.
A Ron Paul supporter from Mundelein, Illinois. Welcome.
Well, good morning, gentlemen. Bill and Representative Dr. Paul, thank you.
Good morning.
This is an honor. I've been supporting you since your first announcement of running for president, and I listened to your background and your platform, and I wholeheartedly, I'm a 52-year-old college student, and I was going to college and explaining to people why they should vote for you, and I did change some minds. My one question, sir, I live in northern Illinois, and we've been invaded by another country totally, and I'm wondering why these mayors and governors can claim sanctuary, and they're not arrested for breaking federal law, for obstruction of justice, aiding and abetting illegal behavior. They're just basically, it's broadcast that that's their policy, and when you break federal law, I mean, it is the law. But my other question is, can I write your name in, sir? And will you know, I don't want to vote for neither one of these candidates. They both talk out of both sides of their mouth, and you're the only one that seems to be honest.
Okay, Illinois.
Okay, I don't encourage people to do a write-in campaign. I don't tell people not to do it if that's what they want to do. But generally speaking, that doesn't accomplish a whole lot. Most of the time, they won't even count or announce the write-in votes. But some will do that. But as far as the borders are concerned, I think we've ignored our borders. We're more concerned about the borders between foreign countries than we are about our own. But if a city is providing a sanctuary, you do have immediate recourse there. If the federal government is negligent in enforcing the federal law, the mayors and the city council should be held accountable. And if it's an issue and the people there are disturbed, they should, you know, change their government locally.
Congressman Paul, do you feel that the Republican platform went far enough on the issue of immigration in these sanctuary cities?
You know, to tell you the truth, I don't know exactly what they wrote there, and I know it is a big concern and a big worry, and we should do something about it. But sometimes, you know, platforms are merely platforms, and they're grandiose statements that they never follow through on. But I can't really analyze exactly what they said because I have not read it.
Two quick questions for you. When did you suspend or end your campaign for the presidency, and are you running for re-election in the 14th District?
I am running for re-election. I don't have a Democratic opponent, so I'm hoping I can win that race. The official presidential campaign ended several months ago. It was after the last primary occurred, and we stayed in because our supporters were very energized and didn't want to give up, and we still don't want to give up. We've just transferred this whole movement from a presidential race into the campaign for liberty, and that is what we're working on because that's what we're interested in. We believe that liberty, personal freedom, can solve so many of our problems, and that we want to use the Constitution not to restrain the people in any way, but to restrain the government. That was the purpose of the Constitution.
Moline, Illinois next, a supporter of Senator McCain.
Yes, I have a question for Congressman Paul. I was just wondering, with all the bickering between Hillary and Obama with this election, and then Hillary supporting Obama eventually, why can't you see, to support McCain, being a Republican and, supporting McCain in this run for presidency?
You know, I wouldn't describe my relationship with Senator McCain as bickering. As a matter of fact, I sort of ignore that. I deal in the issues, but the bottom line is, will you put your name on his list that you support him? Well, it is so hard for me because I've dealt for all these years I've been in Congress. I first went to Congress in '76, only with the issues, the principle of the bill. Every single bill that I vote on, I vote only by the Constitution. So that has required me to vote by myself so many times. And my supporters like that. But for me to campaign hard and then lose, then all of a sudden say, oh, okay, I can support Senator McCain, but I don't know what we agree on. You know, he says he's for less taxes now, but he always voted for more taxes. So how can I be happy about that? The foreign policy, he's a neoconservative. He follows this idea that we should be every place. We should expand our presence overseas, and here we're broke. And I say bring all our troops home. And that to me is a very, very important issue. In the old right, the conservative, the Robert Taft Republican position used to be against war. Now we as Republicans are for starting war. It used to be the Democrats that started the wars, like in Vietnam and Korea. Even George Bush ran in the year 2000 on a platform of no nation building, no policing the world, and staying out of the affairs of these nations. And that's how he won that election. So that's the type of Republican I am. So it would be a contradiction of everything I believe in if all of a sudden I say, oh, okay, you know, I'll put my name down there and we'll have unity. I'm all for unity. But we have to have unity for something that is conservative, and we're convinced that freedom works better than big government and deficits.
We go to Smyrna, Tennessee, a supporter of Senator Obama's.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Come on.
Mr. Paul, I've been on your website, and I noticed that you have a book list there of, of books that you would like folks to read. And I believe that the second book on your list is a book called The Creature from Jekyll Island. I have a website myself. It's lovegodisLove.org. And I've written a book that I co-wrote with God. And I say that God wants people to read the same book, The Creature from Jekyll Island. Are you a religious person? Do you believe in God?
I do.
Thank you for your call.
I am a religious person. I am a Christian, and I believe in God. And The Creature from Jekyll Island is a book that explains how the Federal Reserve System came into being and how important it is. It's an issue that I am so surprised and so pleased with that has come to light during this campaign. It's a very important issue and something the other candidates, as a matter of fact, in the last 100 years they haven't discussed, and yet it has so much importance because it determines the value of your money. If you complain about high cost of living and decreased standard of living, you have to understand the Federal Reserve System. But The Creature from Jekyll Island is the book that explains how this all came about.
Statesboro is next in Georgia, a supporter of Ron Paul's. Welcome.
Well, hello. I would like to say I love to go fishing at Jekyll Island. I go there quite a bit with my youngins. My question is, with all these things going on, how do we, or what tactics do we use to peacefully reestablish freedom, the Constitution in the United States of America, as we go down the rabbit hole of tyranny? At what point do peaceful tactics no longer, how long, till they're no longer viable?
You know, that is a tough question because it's something I think we'll all have to face, and that is who should and when should you practice civil disobedience? And some even say, will it ever lead to violence? You know, the founders said that you have the Second Amendment because the Second Amendment protects you against abuse of government. I don't think we're anywhere close to that, but we do need to protect the Second Amendment. And I think civil disobedience is a very important tactic. I mean, when you think of what Gandhi achieved, you know, in India, and what Martin Luther King achieved with nonviolence, but they also went to prison for this. And although I endorse that principle, I have chosen the alternative, and that is working within the political system. As long as we can organize and that we are not dictated to and told what we had to believe and what we can do, I can still run for office. I can still win a congressional seat. And we, in the Campaign for Liberty, have chosen to work within the political system. But I can foresee a time not too far off. Let's say we keep getting ourselves more involved in these senseless wars around the world, and they reinstitute the draft. You know, selective service is still there. I think a lot of young people are going to say, hey, what am I going to Georgia for? They don't even know where Georgia is in this country. They think it's Atlanta, Georgia, you know. But they're going to send troops or something maybe in a place around the world, and they're going to say, you know, maybe I ought to practice civil disobedience. The tax code. The tax code is in shambles. It's collected in a very unconstitutional fashion. Already people practice civil disobedience. But boy, that is a personal choice. It's a tough one. And the government still have more guns than we have. And therefore, you're taking on some real serious responsibility.